Hello student, welcome back. In today we will discuss about measurement topic, and in class 9 the topic name is time and work. I hope that you would be enjoying at previous videos and you understood all related concept. And if you have any doubt, any queries, please write in comment sections box. And also if you want to give me a valuable suggestions, please put in comment sections box. So this is the first question. 30 men can do a piece of work in 16 days. In how many days 8 men can do the same work? So before we will discuss this topic, firstly we understood some concept, right? So M stand for men, W stand for women, T stand for time, D stand for days, that is the D student, okay. D, S stand for hour, right? So such concept are used in all type questions in time and work. We always see in almost this type of questions, and we will use such kind of data, right? So 30 men can do a piece of work in 16 days. So that's we assume M1 is equal to 30 men, right? M1 is equal to 30 men. D1 is equal to 16 days. And in how many days? We find out how many days 8 men can do the same work. That means M2 is equal to 8 men. Is this clear student? This is the first conditions and this is second conditions. 30 men किसी काम को 16 डेज में कंप्लीट करते हैं, उसी काम को 8 men कितने दिनों में कंप्लीट करेंगे? That is the questions. I hope that you understood the meaning of these questions, right? 30 men उसी काम को 16 दिन में कंप्लीट करते हैं, तो 8 men उस काम को कितने दिनों में कंप्लीट करेंगे, right? So that is the first condition. That's why we use M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2, right? So simple, we put the values M1 that is 30 men, D1 is equal to 16, M2 is equal to 8, and find out the D2. D2 means what? That is the days, right? So calculations for D2, so 30 into 16 and these 8 are moving to the left side, that's why we will consider in denominator, right? So 8 ones are 8 and 8 twos are 16, so 30 into 2, that is equal to 60, and 60 means that is a D2, right? So 8 men can complete the same work in 16 days. 8 men can do the same work in 16 days. So option D is the correct answer. I hope that you understood very well, right? So this is the first questions. Don't worry about it. We will keep practice more problem. Okay. So we move on second example. If 10 men can do a piece of work in 4 days, in how many men will be required to get the same work in 5 days, right? So that means if 10 men and 10 log can do a piece of work in 4 days, how many men? That is the 10 men. So that's why M1 is equal to 10 men, right? And work in 4 days, that's why we choose D in 4 days, right? 10 men can do a piece of work in 4 days. 10 लोग 4 दिन में काम कंप्लीट करते हैं. सो M1 मीन्स कितने लोग? 10 लोग कितने दिन में काम कंप्लीट करते हैं? दैट इज द 4 डेज, 4 दिनों में काम कंप्लीट करते हैं. अब वो कह रहा है कि इन हाउ मेनी मेज, इन हाउ मेनी मेन विल बी रिक्वायर्ड. अब कितने मेन यहाँ पे लगेंगे टू बी रिक्वायर्ड टू गेट द सेम वर्क इन 5 डेज. अगर मुझे काम 5 दिन में कंप्लीट करवाना है या करना है तो मुझे कितने मेन लगेंगे? दैट्स द क्वेश्चंस. 10 मेन 4 दिनों में काम कंप्लीट करते हैं, तो 5 दिनों में कितने मैन को काम को कंप्लीट करने में लगेंगे, राइट। सो वी यूज दैट इज द m1 into d1 is equal to m2 into d2, right. So this is the formula or this is the technique. So put the values of m1 that is the 10, d1 that is the 4 days, m2 is find out d2 that is the 5 days, right. So m2 as it is, so 10 multiplications 4 divide by 5 that is the 40 divide by 5 and 5 8 the 40 is equal to m2, right. So find out the m2 is equal to 8 and 8 men can do the same work complete in 5 days. तो कितने men हमें लगेंगे, that is the 8, right. 10 मेन 4 दिन में काम को कंप्लीट करते हैं, तो 8 मेन उसी काम को 5 दिन में कंप्लीट करेंगे. दिस इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन स्टूडेंट. ये समझ में आया? कुछ नहीं किया. सिंपल वी यूज दिस फार्मूला, दैट इज द फर्स्ट कंडीशन, दैट इज द सेकेंड कंडीशन, बोथ्स आर इक्वल. m1 d1 is equal to m2 d2 and we put the values we have in equations and we will solve, right. So this is the trick, don't worry about it, we will keep practice more problems. So we move on third example. So example number third, a man do a work in 12 days working 8 hour per day. If he does 6 hour per day, what would be number of days taken by him? Oh, this is the interesting questions. A man do a work in 12 days. एक इंसान एक काम यानी एक काम 12 दिनों में कंप्लीट करता है. वर्किंग 8 आवर पर डे, राइट. सो यहाँ पे 12 डेज, राइट. यहाँ पे 8 आवर पर डे. सो दैट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ दैट. D1 कितना यहाँ पे 12 डेज. एक मैन एक काम को 12 दिनों में कंप्लीट करता है. अब 8 आवर पर डे, 8 आवर पर डे का मतलब क्या होता है? दैट इज द टाइम. T1 इज इक्वल टू 8 आवर पर डे, यानी एक दिन में 8 घंटा, दैट इज द 8 आवर. सो एक दिन में 8 आवर डे के हिसाब से 12 दिन काम करता है. इफ ही डज 6 आवर ए डे, अगर वो काम दैट इज T2 6 आवर एक दिन में, अगर वो एक दिन में 6 घंटा काम करेगा तो उसे कितने दिन लगेंगे? दैट्स द क्वेश्चंस, राइट. एक इंसान यानी एक दिन में 8 घंटा पर डे के हिसाब से काम करता है, उसे 12 दिन लगते हैं. अगर 6 आवर पर डे के हिसाब से काम करेगा तो उसे कितने दिन लगेंगे? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. सो वी यूज फार्मूला, दैट मीन्स D1 T1 means that is the time, is equal to D2 T2. So put the values, right. So D1 12, T1 8, D2 we don't know, T2 6 hour. This is very easy. So find out the D2 means days. So 12 into 8 divide by 6. So 6 1 ja, 6 2 ja. So 2 into 8 and we will get answer, that is the 16. अगर वो इंसान यानी अगर if he does 6 hour per day, then he would be 16 days taken by him. How many days? That is just 16. That's why option C is the correct answer. I hope that you understood very well. Whereas if you have a problem or query, please put in comment sections box. This is very easy questions. So we will move on next example. Example number 4. 12 person can finish a piece of work in 15 days. in how many days will the same work he completed by 20%? 12% यानी 12 लोग किसी काम को 15 दिन में कंप्लीट करते हैं। 12 लोग उस काम को 15 डेज में कंप्लीट करते हैं। दैट मीन्स M1 इज इक्वल टू 12 मैन, D1 इज इक्वल टू 15 डेज। इन हाउ मेनी डेज यानी कितने दिन लगेंगे। विल दिस सेम वर्क वही काम अगर 12 यानी 20 करेंगे, 20 वही काम करेंगे। दैट मीन्स M2 20 मैन अगर 20 लोग उसी काम को करेंगे तो कितने दिन लगेंगे। दैट इज द क्वेश्चन, राइट। सो वी यूज सिंपल टेक्निक। देयर आर टू कंडीशंस M1 D1 M2 D2, right? So we put the values M1 12, D1 15, M2 20 and find out D2. So 12 into 15 divide by 20 is equal to D2, right? So 15 and 20, 5 3s are and 5 4s are, right? So 12 into 3 divide by 4, so 4 1s are, 4 3s are, so remaining 3 into 3, that is the 9 days. So the value of D2 is equal to 9 days. So that's the meaning of if 20 persons will finish the same work in 9 days. So option A is the correct answer. If 20% will finish the same work in 9 days, right? So we use this formula or this trick. Simple multiplications with M1 D1 M2 D2 and both are equal, right? I think this is very easy and you will easily learn in 4 example or during 4 example, right? Am I right, student? So we will move on next example. So this is example number 5. If 15 men can do a piece of work in 20 days, in how many days can 25 men finish the same work, right? So this is the questions. So first we find out the what we have a given data. 15 men can do a piece of work in 20 days. So there are two conditions. First conditions, 15 men can complete a work in 20 days. So 15 men and 20 days, that is the meaning of M1 is equal to 15, D1 is equal to 20, right? Right. So M1 is equal to 15 men, D1 is equal to 20 days. Next, second conditions, in how many days can 25 men finish the same work? That means men are given and find out the days. So that's why we take M2 is equal to 25 men, right? And find out the men. So find out the days, that is D2 is equal to how many days. अब यहाँ पे 15 men एक काम को 20 डेज में करते हैं। यदि उसी काम को 25 men करेंगे तो वो कितना दिनों में कंप्लीट करेंगे, दैट इज द क्वेश्चंस. सो वी सिंपल दैट इज द M1 D1 M2 D2. अब ये तो आपको याद हुआ होगा, है ना. सच फार्मूला या सच ट्रिक you memorize because we are studying during the 4 example M1 D1 M2 D2. So simple we put the values, that is 15 20 25 and D2, right? So find out the D2, 15 20 and here 25, right? So 5 4s are 5 5s are, right? 5 4s are and 5 5s are. So here 15 4 and 5, right? So again 5 1s are 5 3s are. So here 3 into 4 is equal to 12. So 12 days, right? So D2 is equal to 12 days, right? So 25 men can complete the same work in 12 days. So option B is the right answer. I think this is clear to everyone, student, because this is very easy, right? Simple formula M1 D1 M2 D2, and whatever we have a given data, simple put in this formula and calculate the one variable, right? So we move on next example. So this is the last questions of today's lectures. If 8 men can complete a piece of work in 6 days, in how many work days 3 men will complete the same work, right? So there are two conditions. First conditions is that 8 men complete a piece of work in 6 days. 8 men complete work in 6 days, that is the meaning of men, and days are given. So simple M1 is equal to 8 men and D1 is equal to 6 days. This is the first conditions, and second conditions is what? In how many work days 3 men will complete the same work, and we have M2 is equal to 3 men, and 3 men can complete the work in how many days, that is the D2 is equal to find out, right? So we have a two condition, that is the first conditions, that is second conditions, and both are equal. Is this clear, student? So here put the values 8 into 6, so 3 into D2, so we directly cancel out 3 ones and 3 twos. So here 8 into 2 is equal to 16, so D2 is equal to 16 days, right? So if 3 men can complete the work in 16 days, so that's why option B is the correct answer. I think such type of problems are enough for today's lectures. So we will next type of problem we will discuss in next videos. So I think we stop here, student. So we will meet on next videos. Till then, take care, student. Bye bye. And if you have any query, any doubt, and if you want to give me a valuable suggestions, please put in comment sections box and join us our channels and like and subscribe our channels. So thank you, student. Bye bye.